Wow, the former president was convicted, and now this.
Donald Trump has now been convicted of 34 different felony crimes.
We got him.
Wow.
We did it, guys.
We fucking got him.
Justice is served.
Is this like the first time you can truly actually say, we got him?
I don't know. I feel like as soon as I said we got him, he got away. Like, they put the cuffs on him and he Alex Max into like a little puddle and slides out the courtroom and like goes back to his mountainous volcanic lair.
Where he gives a rambling and whining press conference.
In front of 34 American flags.
One for each.
So we have a judge who's highly conflicted. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified.
They were literally crucified.
By literally crucified, I mean figuratively crucified.
They're dead on a cross somewhere.
I'm guilty of not knowing the definition of literal.
By this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil.
Cherubic Judge Mershon.
He's like that show Angel that's about a vampire. Very confusing.
Oh, there's a devil's tail underneath that judge's cape.
He looks so nice and soft.
What is this?
People say, oh, he seems like
So
such a nice
soft.
guy.
What lotion do you use?
Seriously. Moisturizing Mershon.
Drop the skincare routine, Judge Mershon.
If they're, as we've talked about, going to now start referring to former President Trump as convicted felon Donald Trump, and whether they're going to use that language, that we also know Hunter Biden is facing 2 federal trials.
Wow.
Distraction.
The real story of the day.
Potential felon Hunter Biden.
And you guys haven't forgot about the laptop, right?
I don't think the Trump campaign is going to pull any punches if Hunter Biden winds up convicted of something.
Oh, do your worst, Trump campaign. Hunter Biden's campaign for president must be stopped.
I just want to know from a faith perspective, Speaker Johnson.
Yes. Direct line to God.
What can you tell our country who's disappointed in this ruling?
Perhaps you consider sending them thoughts and prayers, as you do for most mass shootings.
I genuinely believe, Ainsley, that God's going to allow us another chance.
God will try to shake down Georgia for more votes.
We'll finally find out if God's a Democrat or Republican.
Oh my God.
Finally, just as the New Testament says.
All will be revealed. God's party affiliation.
Well, he registered in Virginia, but he votes in New York. His hand is everywhere.
One thing Kilmeade's sure of is that he's not voting for third party. It's a 2-party system, God. What is it?
All right, that was Fox. Let's check out how they're coping on the far right tubes.
Everybody point to the hat. We have to get one screen grab of
Thought crime, more like fashion crime. All right, Gleep, point to the hat. Point to the hat, Zotox.
Everyone point to the hat.
The 4 red tie guys outside the courthouse, that's like NSYNC. And these guys are fucking 98 Degrees. This is the worst version of boy band America.
You need to go into the streets and to show this regime no. F you, actually.
Charlottesville, too. This time it's just as racist and violent.
Yeah. Laws will not replace us.
You are trying to do a coup d'etat. This is not
a coup d'etat.
Make America great again with French.
So no regrets on him not taking the stand.
Look, the verdict came down a couple hours ago. I don't know if I have any regrets about anything yet.
I'm just still doing news spots. I'm still going on to every major network.
Yeah, nothing's changed for me.
My brain can't process self-reflection.
I don't think that there was a conviction because he did not take the stand.
Because we're guilty.
Because we did it and that wouldn't have helped us.
Because we fucking did everything that they said we did.
Why didn't the defense call any of these witnesses?
Because we happen to live in America. And we don't have the burden of proof.
Our defense was hoping that the prosecution didn't file something with the right, like, double S number on it and we could get out on a technicality.
That's a question that is a loaded question that should not be asked of a defense attorney or a defendant.
I'm a defense attorney. Why should I be defending anyone?
Yeah.
Todd Blanche's whole defense was that Michael Cohen was the, quote, gloat, the greatest liar of all times. He was, like, trying to trade on, like, shitty meme-like defenses. This dude did not have a case.
All right, let's take a look at where Todd Blanche went wrong in this trial. What do we call that? A post-mortem?
I call it a Blanche back.
We got to go Blanche to the future.
First you're hot and then you're cold.
Judge Mershon scolded Trump's attorney Todd Blanche.
Todd Blanche said, Cohen came in here, he raised his right hand, and he lied to each of you repeatedly. You cannot send somebody to prison. You cannot convict somebody.
You can't say jail.
It is so powerfully prejudicial.
Todd Blanche was also doing that weird stare he does outside the courtroom with Trump. Trump just waving a pocket watch saying, "You cannot send somebody to prison. You cannot convict."
Look into my unblinking eyes.
Imagine, if you will, a courtroom in between space and sound. A courtroom not of logic and judgment, but of delusion and apathy. A courtroom 49 degrees above zero.
The Twilight Years zone. I don't even know. I was just trying to think of something.
Actor Robert De Niro has officially lost his mind. I want to show you just a little more.
If he gets in, he will never leave.
Imagine believing this stuff. I mean, this guy must just sit in his apartment shouting at his fifth wife.
I also love in their world the number of wives that is bad versus good.
Yeah.
4 is the over-under. 3 is great.
By the way, Robert De Niro, 2 wives.
Oh, wow.
Fact check.
Honestly,
wife count.
Shame on me for assuming that anything I heard on Newsmax might be accurate.
And the best that Biden can do is roll out a washed-up actor.
Gary Busey.
Kevin Sorbo.
James Woods.
And don't worry, my remarks will be shorter than The Irishman. I won't make you suffer for 3 hours.
I agree that movie was too long and not good.
Okay, fine, we agree. Let's overturn the election.
I hate his politics, but I love his film critiques.
Robert De Niro?
Here's a washed-up actor on a washed-up actor.
Jesus, yeah.
Joining us now is an expert washed-up actor.
He's so washed up, he's all beige.
He's washed up and washed out.
For him to say today that he's never going to leave, I mean, he left once. So the evidence is he did leave.
He never conceded, and he took shit with him. Just because he failed at insurrecting does not mean he's not an insurrectionist.
If Rob Schneider is your pundit, you lost.
Yeah, exactly.
That's endgame, man.
I was ready not to vote for Trump until...
Oh, wait, Dennis Quaid is a fucking psycho?
More than politics, I see a weaponization of our justice system.
No!
And a challenge to our Constitution.
No. This one hurts. I really liked Frequency. I really like that movie. The 1969 Mets. It's such a good story. Jim Caviezel, he ended up being crazy also, obviously.
It all started with Frequency.
Frequency changed the way actors thought about politics.
Anytime you introduce a ham radio into the equation.
It was like Alec Baldwin. They didn't test the radio. It had like some sort of weird electromagnetic something.
Frequency, perhaps?
Fuck! People might call him an asshole, but he's my asshole.
People might call him a chode, but he's my chode.
Mother Teresa could not beat these charges.
Mother Teresa could not beat the charges that she paid off a porn star.
Call me Mommy Teresa.
They don't call me mother for nothing.
The hottest porn these days is Stepmother Teresa.
All right, from the formerly corrupt executive branch to the presently corrupt judicial branch.
Justice Alito told the New York Times that the flag was flown in protest by his wife to some neighbors having nothing to do with January 6th or protesting the election.
Do we really need to call this a protest? This is not what Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned.
This was not John Lewis's Good Trouble. This was being this was being a fucking petty ass neighbor.
Why was that flag even hoisted in the first place? Was it in response to these neighbors, or was it more accurately conveying some political statement?
Whenever I have a personal grudge with a neighbor, I always fly my appeal to heaven flag. It's my very normal response.
Sometimes I'll put a swastika up if my neighbors are like walking their dog on my lawn. If that dog pees on my lawn, boom, swastika.
Alito doubling down, or tripling down at this point, blaming his wife for the incident.
It's part of Alito's new Netflix special, Women Be Insurrected.
Saying, quote, "My wife is fond of flying flags. I am not.
I'm fond of controlling women's bodies."
To say fond of flying flags is, it's not like it's the flag flying that she loves.
Of course.
I just love to see it flap in the wind.
Yeah.
I love the colors.
But like nothing that these people do is in good faith. Sam Alito is supposed to be the head of this institution that's supposed to be legitimate, and it's so hard for us to let go as a culture. The idea of the Supreme Court as a foundational block when really it's just poison.
She was solely responsible for having flagpoles put up and has flown a wide variety of flags over the years.
What is this wide variety?
Oh, yeah.
Pirate flag.
There's the hang in there kitty flag where it's holding on to the flagpole. Super cute.
The Nirvana flag.
He says he will not recuse because his wife acted as a private citizen here.
I feel like he saw this working for Bob Menendez and was just like, this guy is blaming his wife for his things.
She was at January 6th. Who knows? She was there with a flagpole, decapitating a police officer.
She impaled that cop with a flag as a private citizen.
Therefore, I cannot recuse myself.
Happy wife, fascist life.
And as they passed, Mrs. Alito appeared to spit towards the vehicle.
And a man trailed her all the way down the street and berated
defended her using foul language, including what I regard as the vilest epithet that can be addressed to a woman. Starts with the C.
She prefers her official title of Scuntus. Supreme cul-de-sac unfriendly neighbor of the United States.
The former Washington Post editor said, yeah, maybe in retrospect, we probably should have reported this story. Like, yeah, you fucking moron. Like, the editor saying, I recalled that we should not do a single slice story because it seemed like the story was about Martha Ann Alito and not her husband.
So is that the thing? It's like, oh, we shouldn't go after the wives of
but like,
Supreme Court justices?
Should we do a blind item? Which spouse of a Supreme Court justice hung a Stop the Steal flag?
Yeah, that would have been a red herring because I would have said Ginny Thomas.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not the one you think.
All right, and now I don't even know how to transition with this one.
Nikki Haley in Israel took out a marker and wrote, "Finish them," on the surface of an Israeli bomb.
She's signing that bomb like it's a yearbook. Little star over the eye, little cute heart.
Bibi, don't ever change. It seems like you won't.
Or maybe that's just her favorite Mortal Kombat quote.
Totally.
Flawed victory. Extremely flawed.
I am so mad forever at everybody in the media who called this person a moderate.
Now that message comes after Israel's deadly strike on a tent camp.
Tragic error. This is the true meaning of weaponized incompetence.
They really treat these errors the way like the New York Times treats misspellings. They're like, we regret the error.
Israel's press releases are now just gifs of Steve Urkel.
Did I bomb that?
Despite our best efforts not to harm the non-involved, unfortunately a tragic mishap happened last night. We're investigating the case.
We're also going to take another look at the 35,000 other tragic mishaps that we've
It was a tragic whoopsie daisy. And that's why they call me Boo-Boo Netanyahu.
Netanyahu said the strike was a, quote, tragic mishap. His office later published a transcript where they changed those words to tragic incident.
Mishap implies too much ownership.
It was a mishap to call this a mishap.
That was the real tragic error here.
It was a semantic mishap.
It was anti-semantic.
So how does this not violate the red line that the president laid out?
As I said, it's less of a red line and more of a red lobster in that it's completely bankrupt.
We won't support a major ground operation in Rafah.
But maybe a minor to mid-level ground operation.
Oh, those middle ground operations are really where they get you.
The sweet spot of the ground operation.
Toss in a couple tragic mishaps.
Round it out.
We're cool with that.
And that's a war, folks.
Should that occur, then it might make him have to make different decisions.
It might make him have to reconsider considering a potential reevaluation to possibly ponder a new strategy that may or may not result in, what was I talking about?
If you think Hamas is just gone, they're not gone.
If anything, we're creating more of them every day.
Maybe some people have forgotten what happened on the 7th of October, but we haven't.
So condescending. No one's forgotten what happened on October 7th. It's just like that scene in The Big Lebowski when he tells that guy, new shit has come to light, man.
Yeah.
There's new information. Like, we're all privy to some new shit.
You're out of your element, Kirby.
You know, has it ever occurred to you that instead of running around blaming me, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
This first one next week on guns.
Fuck you, yeah, I mean, I think it is.
Hey Humies, thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, help us invade your planet by subscribing to our YouTube channel or drop us a comment. We really love those. If you really like the show, subscribe to our Patreon where we share some bonus content. All right, okay, gotta go. Bye!